The Roman Empire was forged through military genius and calculated brutality that created legends echoing through history. These earliest feared generals combined tactical brilliance with psychological warfare that broke enemy resistance before battles began, establishing the template for Roman conquest, where reputations became instruments of terror. Julius Caesar, the conqueror who made Gaul weep. When Gaius Julius Caesar crossed the Rhine in 58 BCE with 4 legions, he carried a systematic approach to conquest that would transform warfare itself. At 42, Caesar understood that true victory required complete psychological submission of conquered peoples, not just battlefield triumph. The Gallic Wars demonstrated Caesar's mastery of terror as a military weapon. At Avaricum in 52 BCE, he ordered the massacre of 40,000 inhabitants, sparing only 800 to spread word of Roman ruthlessness. This calculated brutality eliminated resistance while creating a reputation that made future enemies surrender rather than face annihilation. The Rhine Bridge construction in 55 BCE, completed in just 10 days, demonstrated engineering capabilities that seemed supernatural to Celtic observers. Caesar had proven Roman will could overcome any natural obstacle, with psychological impact exceeding military advantage. The siege of Alesia showcased Caesar's tactical brilliance through double wall systems that trapped both besiegers and besieged. When Vercingetorix surrendered to save his people from starvation, the sight of the proud Gallic chieftain throwing down his arms sent a message that no Celtic resistance could ultimately succeed. Caesar's literary genius amplified his military reputation through detailed campaign accounts that circulated as propaganda masterpieces. His famous Veni Vidi Vici after Zella captured Roman military efficiency, swift, decisive, overwhelmingly successful, making enemies surrender rather than face prolonged campaigns. Marcus Licinius Crassus, the butcher who crucified Spartacus. The Via Appia in 71 BCE became a monument to Roman vengeance that terrorized slaves throughout the empire for generations. Marcus Licinius Crassus had transformed himself into the Republic's most feared enforcer through systematic extermination of the largest slave rebellion in Roman history, with 6,000 crucifixes lining the famous road. Crassus approached the Spartacus campaign with resources and ruthlessness his predecessors lacked. Understanding traditional tactics were insufficient against guerrilla warfare. He implemented systematic terror designed to break slave morale while preventing future uprisings. His decimation of fleeing legions, executing every 10th man, sent clear messages that cowardice would be punished more severely than death in battle. The wall across Bruttium Peninsula created a prison trapping the rebel army, while demonstrating Roman capabilities that exceeded slave imagination. The final battle at Syagrius River witnessed carnage exceeding typical Roman practices. Rather than accepting surrender, Crassus ordered complete extermination of captured rebels, with soldiers continuing killing long after organized resistance ceased. The crucifixion of 6,000 survivors represented psychological warfare elevated to art form. Crosses positioned for maximum visibility prolonged the spectacle for weeks, sending messages to slaves empire-wide that rebellion resulted in death designed to maximize suffering and humiliation. Gnaeus Pompeius Magnus, the teenage butcher who conquered the world. When 23-year-old Gnaeus Pompeius raised 3 legions in 83 BCE, observers expected competent service from a promising nobleman. Instead, they witnessed the emergence of military genius, whose combination of tactical brilliance and systematic brutality would make him the most feared Roman general of his generation. The African campaign against Domitius demonstrated Pompey's understanding that speed and terror accomplished what prolonged sieges could not. His lightning campaigns destroyed opposition before it could organize, moving with unprecedented speed to create impressions of overwhelming superiority. Pompey's treatment of captured cities established patterns of calculated violence characterizing his career. Surrender offered mercy, but resistance resulted in systematic destruction, leaving no survivors. The young general understood reputation for ruthlessness was more valuable than immediate military gain. The Sertorian War in Spain showcased Pompey's evolution from promising commander to mature strategic thinker. His systematic campaign eliminated Sertorian resistance through patience and planning, exceeding his earlier reliance on speed and shock, while demonstrating logistical sophistication, enabling sustained operations in hostile territory. The Eastern campaigns established Pompey as the greatest conqueror since Alexander. His reorganization of Anatolia, Syria, and Palestine created administrative structures enduring for centuries, while demonstrating Roman capabilities native populations had never experienced. Roman expansion into sophisticated Eastern kingdoms required generals matching Greek tactical innovation with Roman organizational superiority. These commanders faced enemies with military traditions from Alexander's era, pushing Roman military art to new heights while establishing supremacy over ancient civilization centers. Marcus Antonius, the Eastern Titan who ruled half the world. The palace at Alexandria in 41 BCE became the seat of power for a Roman styling himself as Alexander's heir. Marcus Antonius, master of the Eastern Empire, commanded legions, fleets, and allied kingdoms, stretching from the Adriatic to India's borders, with reputation for military brilliance and personal excess, making him Rome's greatest asset and most feared potential enemy. Antonius earned military reputation during Gallic Wars, where service under Caesar demonstrated tactical capabilities rivaling his commander's strategic genius. His ability to inspire fierce troop loyalty, combined with improvisation under pressure, marked him as exceptional future leader. The second triumvirate formation in 43 BCE revealed Antonius's political sophistication and understanding that Roman rule had become too complex for individual leadership. His alliance with Octavian and Lepidus created power-sharing, dividing the Roman world while pooling resources for republican opposition elimination. Philippi in 42 BCE showcased Antonius's tactical superiority over republican forces. While Octavian struggled with illness, Antonius commanded the assault, destroying last organized resistance to triumviral rule, establishing his reputation as the finest field commander of his generation. The Eastern settlement demonstrated administrative capabilities matching military talents. Rather than simply extracting tribute, he reorganized client kingdoms and provincial boundaries, creating sustainable revenue sources while maintaining local stability. Sophisticated imperial governance exceeding contemporary Roman comprehension. Lucius Cornelius Sulla, the dictator who made Rome fear itself. Rome's streets in 82 BCE ran red with blood, as Lucius Cornelius Sulla implemented terror, redefining acceptable political violence boundaries. The dictator who conquered Eastern kingdoms now turned attention to internal enemies, demonstrating that ruthlessness, defeating foreign armies, could be employed against Roman citizens, opposing his restored republican order vision. Sulla's early career established reputation as commander, combining tactical innovation with psychological warfare. His Jugurthine war service, capturing the Numidian king through diplomatic cunning, demonstrated abilities extending beyond conventional battlefield command. The first march on Rome in 88 BCE shattered constitutional precedents while establishing reputation for audacious political action. Leading legions against the capital violated fundamental taboos, preserving republican government for centuries, demonstrating willingness to employ military force against political opposition. Eastern campaigns against Mithridates demonstrated mastery of combined arms tactics and siege warfare. Athens' siege in 87-86 BCE revealed engineering capabilities rivaling Roman military architecture's greatest accomplishments. With systematic city defense reduction and calculated post-capture destruction sending messages to other Greek cities. The proscription lists created legalized murder systems, horrifying even hardened Roman politics observers. Forum name postings with assassination rewards transformed political opposition into death sentences while enriching supporters through confiscated property. Systematic terror eliminating thousands while demonstrating willingness to destroy traditional Roman society. Titus Flavius Vespasianus, the siege master who destroyed Jerusalem. Jerusalem's surrounding hills in 70 CE witnessed one of history's most devastating sieges as Titus implemented systematic assault ending Jewish independence for nearly 2 millennia. The future emperor's methodical holy city destruction demonstrated Roman engineering and tactical sophistication exceeding anything previously seen in Near Eastern warfare. Titus inherited the Jewish war from Father Vespasian, who departed for Rome claiming imperial power during the year of 4 emperors' chaos. His command assumption revealed administrative and military capabilities, justifying Flavian dynastic succession confidence. The siege lines around Jerusalem represented Roman engineering at its most sophisticated and terrifying. The 6-mile circumvallation prevented escape while systematically starving defenders, requiring multiple legion coordination while maintaining pressure on Jewish positions. Psychological warfare accompanying physical siege revealed understanding that breaking enemy morale equaled overcoming defensive fortifications. Roman prisoners were crucified within city wallside, while captured Jews were tortured and mutilated to terrorize defenders. Calculated brutality, demoralizing resistance while demonstrating Roman determination. Temple complex assault in August 70 CE showcased Roman tactical innovations for urban warfare. Forces employed siege towers, battering rams, and undermining techniques, systematically reducing Judaism's most sacred site to rubble. Calculated acts eliminating Jewish resistance's spiritual center permanently. 3rd century unprecedented challenges brought simultaneous barbarian invasions, Persian resurgence, and internal collapse. Emerging generals combined traditional Roman methods with desperate innovations required for survival when the empire's existence hung in balance, forging reputations in survival struggles rather than conquest wars. Lucius Domitius Aurelianus, the restorer who reclaimed the world, Rome's rising walls in 271 CE symbolized empire desperation, losing confidence in protecting even its capital city. Lucius Domitius Aurelianus, emperor and general, supervised construction, while planning campaigns restoring Roman authority over rebellious provinces and barbarian invaders. Aurelian's rise from common soldier to imperial power exemplified crisis-created meritocratic opportunities within Roman military hierarchy. Danube frontier service provided first-hand barbarian tactics experience and declining traditional Roman response effectiveness. The Alemannic invasion of 271 CE demonstrated empire vulnerability and Aurelian's rapid response capacity under extreme pressure. His Fano counterattack revealed tactical adaptations incorporating frontier warfare lessons while maintaining Roman discipline and organization advantages. Palmyrene Empire reconquest showcased desert warfare mastery and Eastern-adapted siege techniques. Queen Zenobia's forces controlled Syria, Egypt, and Anatolian parts, creating an independent state challenging Roman authority throughout the empire's wealthiest provinces. Palmyra's destruction after Zenobia's capture served as calculated Roman power demonstration designed to discourage future Eastern province rebellions. Systematic, magnificent architecture demolition sent messages that even beautiful, wealthy cities couldn't survive imperial authority challenges. Diocletian, the Dalmatian who saved the empire. The Nicomedia military camp in 284 CE witnessed proclamation of an emperor whose origins seemed unlikely to produce Roman civilization's savior. Gaius Aurelius Valerius Diocletianus, born Diocles in Dalmatian provinces, had risen through military ranks during crisis-ridden decades when imperial authority collapsed across multiple frontiers. The tetrarchy, established in 293 CE, represented the most radical constitutional innovation since Augustus, while addressing practical problems, making effective imperial governance impossible. Dividing imperial authority among 4 co-emperors, each responsible for specific territories and threats, created systems responding to simultaneous crises while maintaining central coordination. Persian campaigns of 296–298 CE showcased understanding that Eastern warfare required different tactics than Western frontier barbarian conflicts. Lieutenant Galerius conducted actual military operations, but Diocletian's strategic planning and logistical coordination enabled Roman forces to achieve decisive Sassanid army victory. Administrative reforms throughout the empire revealed organizational capabilities matching Roman institutional history's greatest achievements. Provincial boundary, military command, and taxation system reorganization created centuries-surviving structures while solving immediate imperial collapse threats. Roman power's twilight produced generals fighting not for conquest, but for civilization preservation under foreign and domestic enemy assault. These final guardians commanded the last effective Roman armies, making victories temporary postponements of inevitable collapse rather than renewed imperial greatness foundations. Flavius Aetius, the last Roman who saved Europe Chalons plains in 451, CE seemed to hold European civilization's fate. Flavius Aetius, Western Empire master of soldiers, surveyed the coalition army representing his life's work. Romans, Visigoths, Franks and Burgundians united against history's greatest threat. At 51, Aetius understood the approaching battle against Attila would determine Roman civilization's survival. Aetius spent decades building political and military alliances, making this coalition possible. Childhood hostage experience among Visigoths and Huns provided intimate barbarian tactics and psychology knowledge no other Roman commander possessed. Chalons' campaign demonstrated coalition warfare mastery and strategic coordination. His ability convincing traditional enemies to fight alongside Roman forces required diplomatic skills exceeding purely military talents. Visigothic king Theodoric's agreement to join represented Aetius's greatest diplomatic achievement. The battle showcased tactical innovations pushing late Roman military art to ultimate expression. Aetius's deployment positioned Roman heavy infantry centrally while allied barbarian cavalry protected flanks, maximizing each force's strengths while minimizing weaknesses. Flavius Belisarius, the last conqueror who reclaimed the Mediterranean Constantinople harbor in 533 CE, witnessed departure of a fleet whose mission seemed impossible, North African reconquest from the century-ruling Vandal kingdom. Flavius Belisarius, commanding 15,000 soldiers and modest naval forces, carried Emperor Justinian's restored Roman unity dreams and his own reputation as history's greatest general since classical antiquity. The Vandal War revealed amphibious operations mastery and rapid campaign tempo, catching enemies unprepared. His North African landing proceeded with precision, demonstrating months of careful planning and intelligence gathering, with advanced speed preventing Vandal coordination. A decimum battle in 533 CE showcased tactical flexibility, enabling Roman forces to overcome cavalry advantages, making Vandal armies formidable for generations. Carthage's capture after minimal resistance revealed understanding that psychological warfare could exceed prolonged siege operations' effectiveness. Rome's siege in 537–538 CE demonstrated defensive operations rivaling offensive achievements. With only 5,000 troops defending a city designed for larger garrisons, Belisarius employed mobile tactics, concentrating Roman strength at threatened points while using architectural multiplication of defensive effectiveness. Syagrius, the last Roman who refused to surrender, Soissons fortress in northern Gaul, stood as Roman authorities' final bastion in 486 CE, walls enclosing not just military stronghold, but empire remnants that once ruled the civilized world. Syagrius commanded forces representing civilization's end. Understanding his domain of Soissons was less viable state than Roman refusal symbol, accepting historical inevitability. The domain functioned as miniature Roman state, preserving administrative practices, legal traditions, and military organization disappeared elsewhere in former Western Empire. Syagrius maintained Latin government language, Roman law justice basis, and traditional military ranks, systematic Roman civilization preservation despite empire disappearance. The final campaign against Clovis and expanding Frankish kingdom in 486 CE represented Western Europe's last organized Roman authority resistance. Understanding probable defeat, his decision to fight rather than surrender demonstrated Roman honor commitment transcending practical considerations. Syagrius's defeat, aftermath, and eventual execution revealed personal tragedy accompanying Western Roman civilization's end. His flight to Visigothic court and subsequent Frankish enemy betrayal demonstrated that even traditional Roman allies would sacrifice individual Romans, maintaining new barbarian power relationships. These 10 generals shaped Roman Empire destiny through warfare, politics, and human psychology mastery. Their legacies remind us individual excellence could achieve extraordinary results, facing impossible odds. Which legendary commander demonstrated the greatest tactical genius and strategic vision combination? Share your thoughts in comments and subscribe for more ancient military history explorations.